Hello guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I am going to talk about how to create the Artifact Registry in Google Cloud Platform. So that is one simple quick lab I just want to perform so that it will be helpful to you as well. So I thought I'll just record this video and upload into the YouTube. So yeah, let me start. Let me copy the password and I've already opened the uh, link in incognito mode. Let me paste that. Okay, I just let me click on next. Then yeah, so then next process I'll follow the same as for the lab. So in the lab, so the main the idea and agenda of this lab to create the repository for container and language package, and the second option is the manage container image with artifact registry, and third one is the integrate artifact registry with cloud code, and the last one configure the maven to use the artifact registry for the java dependency. This is the four major key point I have to perform here as for the lab. So now I am going to set up as per the lab instruction. I'll set up to start the lab. So in the first task one, prepare the lab environment. What I'll do, I'll create a environment variable, and as for the lab, I'll just copy that code and paste into my. What I'll do here, I'll just open the cloud shell here and set the project as for the lab project which has been defined. So what I'll do, I'll just once it is open, I'll just set up a environment variable. Now this is the command export project id, and this id will fetch the automatically my project id. Then based on that it will set my project number, and then the region will set the environment variable we have defined the region US East 1. After that it will set my the gcloud config set compute region dollar region, that will set my region default region as well. So this piece of script will work in that way. So let me execute and authorize it to put in action mode. Okay, so now the execution completed the piece of script. Now come back to the next step, enable the Google service. So definitely make sure that you have to enable your API. So this is the gcloud command, you have to enable your API. So let me execute that script as well to enable the API. My API enabled. So now let me go to the next step to clone the code from the public git repository. So let me do that. So git clone command to clone the repository to my local laptop. So let me check whether it is clone or not. Yeah, it's already clone. The public git link, the name is cloud code sample, already mapped. So let me follow the same other command like to create a cluster. So this is the gcloud command to create the cluster, gcloud container cluster, create container dev cluster. This is the cluster name and which zone you are going to create a cluster. This is a zonal cluster. Okay, so let me create a cluster. Generally it will take some time to create a cluster. So yeah, so now come back to the different screen. Okay, let me come here. Yeah, just once created, then I will check the my lab which my cluster is created or not. This is the checkpoint. And then my tasks to what I'll have to do working with container image. First I'll have to create a Docker repository on Artifact Registry. This is the gcloud command to create the repository on Artifact Registry. Then after that there is one more checkpoint to whether my container image is created or not. So then based on that my next task like configure Docker authentication to Artifact Registry. This is the gcloud command, gcloud auth container Docker, and it's for the region. And this is the piece of gcloud command to authorized your Artifact Registry. Once done, then we'll explore the sample application. Go to the folder which is the code is there. Then based on that we'll build the Docker image. This is the command to build the Docker image, Docker build -t, and this is the standard command to create a Docker image. Then I'll push the Docker to container Artifact Registry. This is the command. Then we'll check whether my image is placed in Artifact Registry or not. So we'll check. So now come back to my screen whether my Kubernetes cluster is created or not. I'll check. So yeah, as you can see, still it is creating. Now as I mentioned, it will take some time to create. Lots of process is going on in backend, so it will take some time generally. So okay, so once created, then I'm back to will follow the next process once created on the cluster. Okay, so okay, so meanwhile I go through the all steps. The task 3 integrate with cloud code. So in clouds shell, this is the command to deploy the application to GKE cluster from cloud code. This is a cloud shell workspace. In workspace I'll use this command and explore to check and play around it. So this is the step which I will follow as part of my lab process. So let's see how it goes. Then lastly the working with language package, create a Java package repository. This is the piece of gcloud command to create a Java package repository. And then once done, then there is a checkpoint to check, and after that will set up a authentication and Artifact repository. This is the one command like gcloud auth login and to authenticate the Artifact repository, and configure the maven for Artifact registry. That is the piece of gcloud command, and open the pom.xml file because it's a Java based. So this is the configuration file. What we have to do, cloud editor, and add the return setting to the appropriate section in the file at the distribution management section. Here as I just at the repository section, what I have to add as per the instruction, I'll add here. So then yeah, so and update the extension in the build as per this command. I'll do that. Then this is the piece of command I have to update the project ID. Okay, so let me check where I have to define the project ID. Okay. So here the example of this complete file of your reference, ensure to replace project with your project ID. So project ID, this is the piece of this one, the project ID I have to replace as for my project ID. Once done, then upload the Java package and Artifact repository. This is a ambient deploy command to just execute in my cloud shell. Then it will deploy into my Artifact repository. And that is all about the process of how we can our code we can artifact and I mean deploy our code into Artifact. So this is the whole process. So let me check my as you can see my cluster is ready. So now I'm follow the next steps. So my cluster is ready. So let me quickly check. Yeah. So then come to the next process to create a Docker repository and Artifact. So let me execute that command. uh, yeah, so creating the, yes, it is creating. So let me, okay, done. So now let me check. Okay, it's done. Now configure Docker authentication to Artifact registry. So this is my gcloud command. Let me execute that command here. Let me select UI. Yes, now done. So now come to the next step to go to the directory. So yeah, so I just navigate to Java Hello World folder now, which is code is reside. So build the container image. This is the piece of command to build my uh, Docker image. So let me create my Docker image. Once created my Docker image, Docker build -t, and this is the piece of this is the standard command to create a Docker image. Docker build -t start with. So now you see the Docker image is creating and downloading package from internet and creating my Docker image. Because this is a Java program, as you can see, Maven, Apache website, some dependency is downloading. Okay, let's see how. I think it should not take much time. Meanwhile, let me check the next step to push the Docker image to container registry. Okay, so yeah, it's lots of downloading is going on. Let's see how much time it is taking, but generally uh, it should quickly happen, but due to some, because it's downloading from different networks, so that's why it is taking time. Yeah, now it's about to complete. Let me go to the registry, artifact registry, artifact registry. So as you can see, my image has not okay. So let me quickly check. Yeah, so now just let me push my Docker image, just check the Docker image created or not. Docker images, you can check recently 30 second 30 second ago created my Docker image, and one tag is also, like you can see, we had defined the tag java hello world, so that is expected. So now just this command to push my container to my artifact registry. So here you will see my image will populated here. So this is the verification step. Artifact registry, then click on repository, then you can see the this is the price for this image guideline. So based on the same thing we can also we can see here. So let me check. Java hello world, just now you just see, just now my image push to artifact registry just now. So this is my container, and this is the container name, container id, tag, all that information, and vulnerability scanning is going on. So it is also meanwhile runtime the scanning is also happening of my image. So that is all about like how we have a piece of code. What we did, we created a docker image. This is the docker build command, then we'll go for docker just created and docker image, and push the docker image into the artifact registry. So this is the purpose of lab, how we can create the docker image and push into the artifact registry. So I think it will be helpful on what the process is following. I think, yeah, so that's it. So I'll come up with the next video next time. So for today, yeah, just I'm just wrap up this call with this video, and I hope to create more video like this next time. So don't forget to subscribe and like my YouTube channel. Thank you.